at 8:30 now. Brilliant. Welcome back, everybody, to day 2 of the British Conference of Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine. We will be starting off with a celebrating movement session with Self-tuina. Yesterday morning, we were joined by Sen Liu for a dynamic Qigong session to get us going for the conference. And this morning, it is my absolute pleasure to introduce Alexander Evans, course director of the Tuina diploma at the College of Integrated Chinese Medicine, long-standing acupuncturist, Tuina practitioner, Chinese herbal medicine practitioner. Alex is known to many, very much within the Kikam bubble. He's a very familiar and well-known face in this community. And it's my pleasure to introduce Alex to be leading this session this morning. Since inviting Alex to be running this session, we've had some lovely exchanges over Tuina techniques, different styles of practice, different teachers in the UK, Tuina field, and it's my pleasure to be experiencing this session as an attendant with Alex today. So Alex, welcome to the British Conference of Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine. Feel free to get started and to get us moving this morning.
Hi, Alan. Thanks very much. And hello and good morning and welcome to everyone this morning. Thank you for joining me on this lovely Sunday morning. We'll be going through in this session using self-massage, and we'll be using Tuina to do that. The session will last about half an hour. It'll consist of me talking in the beginning as an introduction, and then I'll be playing a video of the techniques that I'd like to explore with you, and then we're doing some questions and answers at the end. What I've decided to do this morning is look at our senses as acupuncturists. And I was racking my brain trying to figure out, okay, what would be the good thing for us to do this morning in terms of self-tuina? And I thought quite often, we don't look after ourselves. I should say more for myself than anyone else. But I've noticed in acupuncturists, we tend to not look after ourselves too well. So I thought we'd spend some time working on our senses, our 5 senses. I have substituted our sense of taste with empathy, because I think that's an important sense that we bring as acupuncturists. And so, yeah, I'll go through the other senses, some techniques, some sweeping techniques, some pressing techniques, some percussive techniques. And I came up with this absolutely brilliant idea of using our senses on Wednesday. So I've done a raw video, which you're all happy to share and try at your own pace afterwards. So yeah, pardon me for sticking my tongue out when I'm doing stuff, because I was really in the moment and enjoying the technique. What else can I say? There are lots of good videos out there on Tuina. Self-tuina is not something that's really promoted, but it's very useful. There are, Sarah Pritchard, for example, has got a good video on self-maintenance and well-being. One on my blog at the college about walking. And yeah, so there's some really good videos out there. So I'd ask you to go out and explore what else you can do. I think, oh yeah, one other thing is that the course is coming up in 2 weeks. So if you want to come on the course, it'd be brilliant, and I'd love to have you on it. And with that, I'll hand it over to Alan or Helen to start the session. And hopefully there'll be some time for questions and answers later. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much for your time. So for our senses of empathy, we want to nourish our heart to make sure our heart is open and receptive. So the first thing we will do is we'll use our thumb in the center of our palm, squeeze between your forefinger and your finger, and press and rotate. Press as hard as you can, it's worth it. Do the same on the other side. And once we've done that for about a minute on each hand, we want to put our thumb into our armpit. So thumb deep inside the armpit and press. We lower our hand down and we use our forefinger to press on the point just below the flexure of our wrist on the side of our little finger. And we want to press those together. And you do want to feel some stress or some pain going into your armpit, if you can. If you can't do it this way, you can separate the two activities. So you can thumb deep into the armpit, press tight, and you can do one arm, or you can do the other arm as well. So repeat, mirror what you've done over there, and press in. Then you can work on these two areas by using your middle two fingers and press on those 2 points that we were pressing on a minute ago, and press them firmly. You can see here how I'm doing that using my forefinger. I want to press there and breathe in. And again, we want to do that for about a minute. About another quick minute. We will make a beak shaped of our left hand or our non-dominant hand, and we will put that in the lower part of our sternum. So if you can find your rib cage and go up 2 finger widths, put it there, put your other hand over the top of it, feel the heat and the warmth coming into you, enjoy it, nourish yourself. We don't do it often enough. It's important that we are nourished as practitioners, allowing us to empathise and be open with our patients, I think. Breathe in, slow and deep. Breathe out, slow and empty. Once you've done that, start spreading the energy down. Using your hands, push down, not only on the front, but also the sides. And then to wrap this part up, put your left hand, always have trouble between right and left, over 2 palms on top of each other, just on your belly button, and rotate around it, nice and slow, with firm pressure, moving it in the same way, in this way, clockwise, but in the same way that your body's motion would move digestion through your system, making it lighter and lighter, the pressure on the palms of your hands, till you just drop just below your belly button, and hold it there and enjoy the moment. Feel that warmth coming into you. Breathe into it, relax, get centered, and be ready to treat. Touch. So we'll start by pushing using the heel of our hand, and we'll go down on the inside and up on the outside, down on the inside and up on the outside. You'll do that until you feel a nice warm sensation flowing through your arms, or about 10 to 15 times. We want to make a beak shape, fingers together, and we want to work our joints. In tuina, we want to make sure that our joints are open and flexible, and it'll be the same for acupuncture, because you want the energy to flow from you and to pick up the sensations from your patient. I'll only be working on one arm, but you'll do the same on the other. So I'm focusing on shoulder joint, elbow and wrist. Once I've done that, I want to stretch, feel that stretch coming into this part of my arm, shoulder down, all the time, breathing slow and deep. Once I've done that, I want to make sure my wrist joint is nice and flexible. So I want to put my palms together, swivel them around, and my elbows together, swivel them around, go one way, go the other. Again, about 10 to 15 times. Once we've done that, we want to make sure our wrists are loose still by doing this technique. This is a way to flag down calves, by the way, in China. Learned that from a friend in Shanghai. We want to energize the end of our fingers, so we'll tap them. We want to do that about 50 times. Still you can feel the energy and the warmth coming into them. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it doesn't take that long, and I'm not going to do 50 because I want to make sure I get through this whole set. I then want to interlace my fingers, and I want to swap them, going over one side over the other. Typically, you have a preferred way of doing it, and so do that one first, but then swap them over. And you want some force going in between them. Brings a lot of energy into your hands. Then I want to use a tuina technique of using my thumb and my forefinger, picking on my thumb in this case, the knuckle there, and twisting it. And I want to repeat that for all of my fingers on both hands. So I'll spend about maybe 10, 15 times rotating it. I use this technique a lot with patients that have distal neuralgia, trauma to their fingers, osteo or rheumatoid arthritis. It works very well. And then I repeat that on this side of my hand. And once I've done that, I want to activate the Jingwell point so I've got energy going into my hand. And the way I do that is to use the nails that we don't have as acupuncturists, and we'll go through and we'll scrape along each of our fingers. You can use the center or the edge of each of your fingers, nails, and just scrape along those. And again, 10 to 15 times on each of them. And once we've done that, we give it one more shake, warm our hands up. And now they're ready for us to work with our patients. So for smell, we want to be able to pull that smell into our body. So we're going to activate and stretch out our lungs, which we would have done doing our qigong first before we start our tuina on ourselves or our patients or our acupuncture on our patients. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to make a cup, nice soft cup in area with each of our palms. We're going to bang our chest, bang our abdomen, and have a good time doing it. You want a hollow sound, not a slapping sound. You want a hollow sound. We're going to make a beak shape with our hand. Notice how all of them come to a point. And we're going to work the upper pectorals. And the way we want to do that is with a loose wrist. And we want to bang it and have that nice sound. We want to go to our traps, top of our shoulders, around our neck, making sure, and this can be quite painful, especially the traps, because there's a lot of people holding their stress there. Just breathe through it, breathe into it, and it'll be nice and relaxed. I won't repeat the exercise on using my other hand, but you would repeat that. And do it for about the same amount of time as myself there. What I want to work on then is working around the face so that we're able then to breathe in, because now we've got a nice space in which to breathe. One more exercise before we do that. We want to get our thumbs and dig in on the end of our floating rib and rotate around it. That is extremely uncomfortable, but it's a really good technique for allowing the diaphragm to expand, and it's very good for bloating. So if this is the end of my rib, I want to use my thumb to rotate around the end of the rib. So for working our smell, I've got to remove my glasses. I'd like it to do the same as well. And we start with the big exercises. So first, I want to warm our hands up. And then we want to put our palms on our cheeks. And we want to move our cheeks as much as you can to create space for the movement into the nose. Go under your chin, scrape upwards. And you want to do that for about a minute. I won't do that today. I then want to pinch the bridge of my nose between my forefinger and thumb and squeeze as hard as you can at the top. Breathing in while you do that. Good, deep breaths in. And breaths out. And breaths in. And breaths out. And squeeze as hard as you can on the top of the bridge of your nose. Once you've done that exercise, you want to take your 2 forefingers, follow your nose down, and just where at the flare of the nose, you'll find an indentation. You want to press in there and rotate. And breathe in when you do that. Of course, we don't have any nails for us to be worried about, but if you do, watch out if you're using them on your patients or yourself. You want to move along your cheekbone, do the same again. Taking breaths clean down into your lungs. Follow your cheekbone around. Work at least 10 rotations on each point as you go along. You could use 2 fingers. And then finally, for your breath, you want to put your forefinger just underneath your nose. Breathe in again. And finally, I want to wipe your nose using at least 2 fingers, swiping down. So for hearing, we want to energize all around our ears, as well as our ears. So take the fingertips, massage quite vigorously the back of our head up to the top of our head. Feels lovely. Round the back of our neck and our nape. Around the occiput. Around the base, where our neck meets our spine. I want to use 2 fingers and rub quite vigorously from side to side on that, as if you're rubbing a spot off. And once you start feeling the warmth there, we can stop. We will then focus on our ears. And the way we'd like to do that is, first off, open up our jaw and dig into the space that we find. And you want to go from the top of the opening of your ear to the bottom of your ear. They can be really painful. If it is, just breathe into it. And you want to do nice circular motions just on 3 sections of the opening of your ear. Next thing you want to do is use your thumb and forefinger to squeeze all around the outside of the ears. Hold it tight and hold it firm before moving on to the next one. Leave it for about 2 heartbeats to 3 heartbeats on each part of the ear. And then we want to snap using our thumb and forefinger on our ears all the way around. And the final thing we want to do for our ears is to scrunch them up as hard as you can, make them as tight as you can, and again hold that for somewhere in the region of 5 to 10 heartbeats. And just breathe into the pain that you will feel. And then slowly release your ears, comfort them, and relax. I'd repeat the process on the other ear now. Sight. So for those people who wear glasses like myself or have got contact lenses in, it's best done if you take your glasses off. And first, like the ear, we want to relax the area before we start working on our eyes. So take 2 fingers and start stroking upwards from in between your eyebrows, up to your forehead, up to your hairline. It's very enjoyable. You want to do that for about 30 strokes going up. You then want to move those 2 fingers and go horizontally across your forehead, and there's 3 zones: eyebrow, mid-forehead and top forehead. So we'll start here and we vigorously rub from the centre out, and then we'll go up to our mid-brow and do the same. Nice, strong, vigorous strokes, and in the top of the forehead. We want to swipe that away on each of the levels. We want to do that at least 3 times. And do more if you feel it's good for you, which it is. We'll take our thumb and our put those into the top of our eyes, and we'll press in and press up onto the bony structure above the eye. So press in, just at where the bridge of the nose is. Press in there, and release. And then you want to inch your way over along the whole of the socket, pressing in and up onto the bone. Pressing in and up and onto the bone. Some of these feelings that you get when you push in may feel a bit weird, and that's okay. Just accept them. So press in and up to the bone. Going down below, you want to use your fingers rather than your thumb, and do the same again. Press in and push onto the bone. Press in and onto the bone, and press in and onto the bone, and press in and onto the bone, and work your way around the whole of the structure of the socket. Once you get there, you want to use your 2 fingers again, and this time work your temple. nice and slow, but with added pressure. Breathing good, deep, clean air in. And we'll do that for half a minute. What we're going to do next is we want to warm our hands up. And we're going to cover our eyes and warm them up. So once your hands feel warm enough, put the centre of your palms, cover your eyes. Good deep breaths in and out. Breathe out as much as you breathe in. And when you feel you're warm enough, you want to put those warmed centres of your hands on your temples. What I'm going to do now is ask us to stretch our eyes. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to go around the clock. So we look up as high as we can without moving your head. That's why you've clamped your head in your hands. 12 o'clock. Stretch it, feel it. 1 o'clock. 2 o'clock. 3 o'clock. Hold it there. 4 o'clock. 5 o'clock. 6 o'clock. Hold it there. Feel that stretch. 7 o'clock. 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock. Hold it there. 10 o'clock. 11 o'clock. 12 o'clock. And hold it there. And you want to repeat that at least 3 times. And once you've done that, you could go anti-clockwise as well. So you'd go 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, hold it there, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, hold it there, 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, hold it there, 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, midday. And the last thing we want to do with our eyes is we want to cover them again with those warmed palms, breathing in, slow, deep and powerfully, and then exhaling just as long as it took to breathe in. And that is how to exercise your eyes.
Gosh, Alex, what a session.
I'm sorry I couldn't
moment,
put everything in there for working both sides of the
sure.
body or whatever. And the other thing I omitted was, as with everything in Chinese medicine, it's intent. So the intent that you put in when you touch your body, your eyes, your ears, is healing, is clearing, is nourishing. And so, yeah, the intent of that is that. Thank you, Alan.
Wow. So it looks like we won't have time for any questions for Alex today. But as I understand it, the video will be, you said the video will be made available to
absolutely
attendants.
No problem. Come to Alan or Helen and they'll sort you out. And I want to thank you for your time, and I look forward to seeing you around somewhere, hopefully on the course.
Grand. Thank you ever so much for
take care, everyone.
today,
have a great day. Have a great session, and thank you again.